start again. It's a rich
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bull Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be discussing a potential buyout option that I believe could be a welcome addition to the Chicago Bulls. We've talked about John Wall already, we've talked about Russell Westbrook already, and we're going to be talking about another guard to bring into this team as we need point guard help, and his name is Patrick Beverly. Someone that I know a lot of people have been mentioning in the comments. I'm sorry it took me a long time to get around to it, but I really wanted to make a couple of other videos before I got around to another buyout option. And look, it's the All-Star break. You got DeMar DeRozan playing a very good All-Star game. Obviously, Ayo Dosunmu as well. There were a lot of good vibes around that All-Star break and All-Star period. And of course, it's going to be coming to an end very, very soon, which means time to get back to work. Time to be watching Bulls misery once again. And I'm not looking forward to that. So I'm going to enjoy those days off. But until then, I will talk about the Patrick Beverly buyout option. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to The Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and whether or not you think Patrick Beverly would be a welcome addition to the Chicago Bulls team. Now, obviously, I believe he's from Chicago as well, so that's instantly going to be a positive in his favor for a lot of people because, again, Chicago are very much loyal to their own, and if someone from Chicago is going to come into this team, I think they're going to treat them very well, treat them very nicely. And I think in return, those people from Chicago that comes to play for the Bulls are going to give 110% of their effort. I just think it's a very good combination of things to see. So instantly, that's one thing. But moving into sort of his statistics, I believe he has the worst statistics of the, the three players I've talked about between Russ, John Wall, and Patrick Beverly. I think he averages around 6 points and 2 assists, something along those lines. But I'm pretty certain if you look at his defensive rating and his defensive stats, it'll probably be higher than Westbrook's and obviously with John Wall's as well. And I also believe he came off the bench some of those games with the LA Lakers. He wasn't the big priority. And look, he's not going to be a big priority on the Chicago Bulls either. Again, he's not going to be a guy that we rely on for, I guess, offense in many ways. Look, 6 points is pretty good stuff, I would say, considering it's going to be a buyout option. It's not terrible, but you're bringing Patrick Beverly in for defense and toughness and being able to speak very open and honestly to these Bulls players, which I think truly need it. I think it's one of our biggest problems. I mentioned it in the last video as well. One of our biggest problems is I think everybody's a bit too nice with each other. I think everybody's all happy. Let's get around each other, boys. Let's pat each other on the back. And there's no real one person, in my opinion, saying the things that need to be said. And sometimes in teams, it's fine to be happy. It's fine to be, I guess, best friends with each other. That's honestly great. I'm not saying we shouldn't have that. But at the same time, you need to find that balance of speaking your truth and also, I guess, being friendly with everybody as well. So I think Patrick Beverly comes in and maybe helps in that way, for sure. He brings great toughness, he brings great energy, he brings great defense. And I think he can play make a little bit as well. I think the stats doesn't necessarily show that, but I think he's a solid playmaker. But all things through, it's going to be a very interesting addition to the Chicago Bulls if that was done. Because again, when you're looking at players like Russell Westbrook, you're looking at his scoring averages, you're looking at his playmaking numbers, you're looking at his overall statistics. They obviously look better than Patrick Beverly's. You look even John Wall, but despite his injury history, you've got someone that averages 5 assists per game, 11 points per game, pretty solid defender in his own right. You're just worried that he won't be able to remain healthy for the Chicago Bulls when he does return to NBA action. So yeah, there's a lot of risks with both guys. With Patrick Beverly, you're probably arguably getting someone that is not as good as those two guys, but you're getting someone that's going to be here. You're going to give someone that obviously will play very hard for this team, especially this team. You're going to get someone that's going to be very honest with everybody. And you're not going to get any of that, I guess, nonsense, mediocre answers you get from the media as well. I think Patrick Beverly would be a welcome addition to the Chicago Bulls team. I guess the real question is, who would I prefer out of the three? Well, if I had to rank them in order, I would still prioritize Russell Westbrook, to be honest, just because our offense has really been struggling recently. And it's stunning, the fact that we have a core big three of Nikola Vucevic, Zach LaVine, and DeMar DeRozan. and we're still one of the worst offenses in the NBA. It's absolutely astonishing. I think Russell Westbrook can help with that, in all honesty. More players running in transition, more players attacking the basket. Yes, he's a turnover machine, and our offense won't necessarily be 100 times better with Russell Westbrook in the lineup, but it will be better, in my opinion, and that's why I'd prioritize him. I would prioritize Patrick Beverly next, to be honest, because, again, defensively, it would be very, very good to have him on the team. I can only imagine the lineup of Patrick Beverly and Alex Caruso, I guess, off of that bench, really making a big difference for this team. It could be incredible to watch our defensive lineups from our guards really shine through. Not to mention, Kobe White has been astounding defensively this season. And Io, granted not as good as last season, I still think is a very capable and solid defender as well. So, again, more defenders on this team I don't think hurts whatsoever. And the fact that he will be here. He will be here. He will most likely not get injured. And there's not much of an injury risk with Patrick Beverly. And then I would go for John Wall. I think John Wall suits us more than Patrick Beverly. But again, his injury record is just untrustworthy at this point. So personally, that's where my situation focuses on between those three guys and what I think we need from this team. Again, I think for Patrick Beverly, if our defense was the biggest problem, he'd be up the top of the list, but not even close. Because at the end of the day, we have seen defense be a problem for us, especially last season with Lonzo Ball out of the lineup. I remember very, very fondly that Lonzo Ball in this team with Alex Caruso as well, we were a top 5 defense in the NBA. Lonzo Ball gets hurt, Alex Caruso gets hurt, and then we're the worst defensive team in the NBA. I think we were 29th last season when that happened. So last season, I'd probably prioritize Patrick Beverly, but our offense has been absolutely astonishingly bad this season. So I think this season, just for that sake, I would try to bring in someone that would average 15 and 7 assists. Because that's what Russell Westbrook did for the Lakers. And no, I don't expect him to do that on the Bulls if he was to come to the Bulls. But at the same time, I don't think he makes our offense any worse. I think he only improves it. Even if it's not by much, it's still an improvement. And look, at this point, buyout option, we're not really going anywhere this season anyway. Just for the sake of having Russell Westbrook in there, it might be a good idea to see maybe things can change for next season. For example, a lot of us don't have any faith, but if you bring a guy like Russell Westbrook or a Patrick Beverly in there and they work, well, then that could be something we focus on for next season because they're going to be on expiring deals. You might be willing to bring one of those guys back next season and just continue to push forward and maybe try something different with a different, I guess, style of play, different players, everything in between. So there's a lot to look into, but yeah, I would absolutely like Patrick Beverly on this team. I think it's going to be very exciting, and I think it's going to be a well-needed reality check for these players if you bring someone like Patrick Beverly into the team. Again, we need a little bit of chaos. We need a little bit of destruction. We need a little bit of toxicity in this team because I just think it's way too nice at the moment. And I don't think a team can thrive in that environment. It's good to have in certain moments. It's obviously good to have in general, but when you need toxicity and you need chaos and you need someone that's going to tell it how it is, I don't know if we have too many guys out there that would be willing to do that on a consistent level. And Patrick Beverly brings that. So that's what I'm excited about if we bring in Patrick Beverly. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls video. Sorry if this is a different background. Again, I'm currently upstairs. There's a whole circumstance downstairs that prevents me from recording down there. So again, it is what it is, and hopefully the audio is okay and everything. Anyway, have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.